Morning, I'm Troy and this is Honey Ridge Woodworking. This is my little shop. Today's the 29th of May, I believe, and I want to start doing a woodworking video channel. I already do a beekeeping video channel with a lot of beekeeping stuff on there, and my other half of what I do is I like to do woodworking. Sometimes it's beekeeping woodworking, and sometimes it's a variety of other things. I do we have a CNC machine and a laser, and we do a lot of signs and memorial plaques, and we engrave cups, and we do a lot of stuff on those machines. We also do a lot of regular woodworking. We build a little bit, I say cabinets, but it's not like kitchen cabinets. We do cabinet, it's actually a liquor cabinet I do for a guy, and build several of them for him with a door on the front that comes down where you can mix your drink and store your shot glasses and things in the cabinet. So we do a lot of those. We do a lot of odds and ends stuff. People call, want this or that, and we do it. What we have here, I think you can see it. We've got some cherry lumber for today. We're working on, I got to have a sign done, a 3 foot by 4 foot sign done. I believe it's for a guy's lake house. So I'm going to be planing down this cherry and try to get it glued up into a 3 foot by 4 foot panel. Over here is some oak, red oak that we've bought new, and we use it to make our liquor cabinets. But I hope to show you some of the stuff in here, some of the tools. I've been retired now for about a year, and I've taken the years while I was working and bought a lot of woodworking tools. My shop is not always clean. It's a worked-in shop. You see a lot of shops on YouTube, and the channels that I watch are immaculate. This is an actual woodworking shop, and it gets messy, and we clean things up, and sometimes we clean up in the area that we need to be working in, and the rest of the stuff has to wait. But we stay pretty busy, so it doesn't allow there's sawdust on the floor and things in the way, and we get bee boxes in the way of our woodworking, and woodworking in the way of our beekeeping, and but we do their best, and it's a worked-in shop, so it's not going to be, if you're looking for an immaculate shop, like I see a lot, you're not going to find it here for the most part. So we do a lot of work, and we make a big mess. I do have a vacuum system I put in the last year. It helps keep up with a lot of the sawdust. Got a vacuum table for sanding. Just a lot of stuff we'll be able to show you as we do projects. But the project for today is working on this 3 foot by 4 foot sign. First thing it's going to go on the CNC, and we're going to route out what he wants on there. But first thing I got to do is make a good 3 foot by 4 foot panel out of this cherry lumber. We also have a sawmill between me and my cousin. It's over at my dad's place, and this is cherry lumber that was from a tree that come off my cousin's dad's farm. So this is wood we milled ourselves. He's had it set in his barn for probably, I'm just guessing, I know it's over 5 years. So moisture content, I'm sure, is low. We'll check it here in a minute. But the moisture content's right. We're gonna cut it the size that we need it. We're gonna allow some extra to go through our planer for insnipe, and glue it together, make a panel out of it, and then make the man sign for him. So we got a lot of work to do in a hurry. So I'll try to show you the steps along the way. But I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you'll learn something, or maybe you're getting into this and maybe you'll see what I do and say, I don't think I want to do that if it's what it's like. But we'll do our best and try to show you some woodworking things along the way, and hopefully you'll like it and tune back in. So I appreciate you watching, and I'm going to find my moisture meter, and we'll get back and check the moisture on this. All right, this is our moisture meter we use. It's a General, it says General MMD7NP. It's got a power button, and at the top it says, it's reading my moisture, my fingers on the sensor. At the top it says wall, masonry, softwood, and hardwood. So this is hardwood, so we're going to check and see what it is. 11%, which is about what I would expect from wood that's been in the barn. So we're good on our moisture. So we're going to go ahead and see how many pieces we can get. Okay, 16 and 7 be 23. 16 and 14 be 26, be 30 inches. I still need another 6 inches or so. I'd like to have a little more. This next board is barely 6, it looks like. Yeah, it's not even 6. So we'll use the bottom wide board. But we've got some bad spots on them that we got to take care of. This is our DeWalt table saw that we use. It's pretty new. I switched from a Delta. It's kind of a contractor saw, but it's a heavy duty contractor saw. Pretty much does what I need it to do. All right, we're roughing these boards down to where we need them. I'm trying to get an idea of how wide I can go to get the length that I want. So we're going to try 9 inches to start out with. It's a good piece of cherry scrap, and we'll use it. Probably it will end up in a cutting board. Will not go to waste. All right, we got our boards kind of rough sized. We still got some work to do to them for sure. And then we've got our scrap boards that, like I say, will probably go into a cutting board. So I'm going to clean up a little bit of this mess, and then we're going to go over to our Oliver helical head planer hooked up to the dust collection system and run them through there and get some nice clean boards out. All right, I got cleaned up a little bit. One of the things I do, we like I say, we've got our own sawmill and saw our own lumber. And sometimes you never know if somebody's had a fence or metal in these boards. This is a pin pointer from Garrett. It's for metal detecting. We do some metal detecting, but these pin pointers are really good for checking for nails or checking for anything in the board. So I don't want a nail going through my planer. So I'll check the boards before I put them through there and make sure. And I can do 300 of these boards and never find anything, and then forget to do this on one board, and sure enough, it'll have a nail in it. All right, this board's good. All right, on our planer, I got the vacuum hooked up. Make sure I got everything set. It's got gates that'll close off or open up depending on, you can run just this specific tool, and it's got the wrong gate open and the wrong one closed. So we're going to close one. Easy. I'm going to close the gate that goes over to the radio arm saw and open the gate that goes to our planer. Okay, over here is good. All right, so we should be in good shape now to go ahead and run our board. All right, we got our boards all planed down. We got them to the same thickness. We got a little bit of end snipe on the end. You can see it on that first board, and that fourth board back really got into it. But the next step is to go ahead and put them on I've got a 6-inch Buffalo joiner. It was built in about 1918, but I've set the fence, rechecked it. It was not square, so I rechecked it and put it to square and tightened it up good. So we're gonna run one edge on the joiner, and we just let the dust on this. This is one of the things we don't have dust collection on, but it's kind of a bigger dust anyway, so we let it go on the floor and then we'll just sweep it up. But you got to do one edge and put it on the table saw to make sure the other edge is parallel. So we'll go ahead and start on that now. All right, we got one edge good and straight. We could go ahead and put the other edge, but there's no guarantee it would be parallel. So what we're doing now is we're gonna run them on the table saw, and that makes sure they're parallel. And then once we do that, we'll take the table saw edge and run it again on the edger to make sure we have two parallel, perfectly square, what's gonna end up being mating surfaces where we put them together and glue them together to make one solid sheet out of them. So now we're going to run them on a table saw. We're at 9 3/8 there. And about 9 5/16 there. So we're going to set it to our saw at 9 1/4. Turn our vacuum, hook our vacuum back up. This is I guess that's a 2-inch DeWalt vacuum. Fits our table saw perfect. Make this 10 3/4. All right, so now we got five boards with perfectly parallel sides. So that side we just run on the table saw, we're gonna edge it now. All right, now we got five perfect boards to glue together to make our panel out of. We'll kind of equally space them here. And then we'll just start placing our boards. This metal is a leveling system, leveling table. Our clamps hold it up above that. So I want to make sure my clamps are square and all even, so when I pull it all together, it pulls it together evenly and squarely. All right, there's one. Two. Three. Need some more room. Pretty good. There's a little bit of gap down there. I don't know, that one don't look too great. Might make that joint the outside. Still need it up. All right, what we're looking for here is to make sure we want, before we clamp it, we want the joints good and tight. So we're gonna run this one back through the edger and get that joint a little better. Either way, it's jacked up. All right, I think we finally got it. It's got a little bit of bow in it, and it's got that knot on the outside, which we should be able to cut it off. I think we're ready for a glue up. We're gonna get these clamps ready. Where we can just screw them down. And then we're gonna start gluing. All right, we got our glue bot, which I highly recommend. One of the least expensive, most worthwhile things you can ever buy, along with a glue brush, which is also tremendously helpful. This one's about wore out. But we're gonna put some glue on here and then proceed to glue these together. That'll be part of it from the other side. I just put an appropriate amount on there. It just comes with doing it. Try not to get too much. Try not to leave any clumps, anything that's going to hold them apart, and try to get the surface totally covered. Usually just put glue on one side of the joint. When we glue these together, it's not necessary to have it on both sides, and this glue brush leaves the appropriate amount of glue in there to make sure that there's enough where we can have a little squeeze out. Try to even these out best we can. Alright, I think we can get something fairly square across there. Get some of that excess off for now before it starts drying, and then we're going to stand it up. Now we're going to start working those seams down flat, as they're definitely not flat yet. One, two, three, four for the other side. Okay, now our ends are good and flush at both ends. Now we just have some parts in the center that are not, so we're going to try to get them with a rubber mallet and see if they'll stay. That one's way out. That one's fairly close. That one's not close at all. All right, I think we got our panel made up now. We got a good 48 inches that we can get out of this. We'll come back with our saw and square it all up the way we need it, and then we'll put it on the CNC. Hopefully we can do that by tonight. All right, we got our board all sized, and on the CNC we sprayed it with shellac, which we use a lot. We use a spray shellac, which goes over and under anything, and it keeps the black paint. We'll paint these letters black and be able to sand it off without it soaking into the wood. So now we're just letting the CNC do its thing. Its Ward's landing is what's going on it. Okay, the first step of the engraving is done. It is engraved the bottom of the letters. An upcut bit causes them ravels, but it's asking for a 90-degree V-bit now, which is going to bevel those edges, which will take all those ravelings off. So we'll change our bit, put the 90-degree bit on there. If you can, yeah, there it is. Put the 90-degree bit on there, and then it'll take those bevel the edges and then take all that off. All right, we got our 90-degree bit on there set up. It's just below our dust cover, I guess, where it can suck up the sawdust. And we're just gonna press resume. Maybe. Where's my pointer? There it is. It's gonna measure the bit. And then it's gonna go to work. Okay, now the bit is turning. It's about 16,500 RPMs. And now it's going to go to work on those bevels. The CNC machine is just finished, and all we need to do is clean it up. I'll take a little sandpaper and clean it up real quick, and then we'll take it off the CNC machine, and we'll go ahead and paint the black is the next step. All right, this is what we ended up with. Didn't get to show the painting, and this is what it looks like at the customer's place where he put it. Thanks for watching. God bless y'all. I'll see you on the next video.